Hit it, Phil.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Can it be the breeze that fills the trees with rare and magic perfume? Oh, no, it isn't the breeze. It's Jackson time. La-da-da-da.
Stay tuned.
Right after this episode.
For our discussion.
City in Hollywood. The Jack Benny Program with Jack's distinguished guest, Mr. Harry S. Truman. Brought to you by Lux. New cream and rich Lux. The beauty soap with a special lather that actually helps purify your skin. And a new pink lotion Lux liquid to give dishes a diamond sparkle. Keep hands lotion lovely. Tonight, I've got news that tops them all. It's the biggest dishwashing news in 12 years. New pink lotion Lux liquid. It looks like a lotion, a soft, lovely pink, and feels like a lotion and leaves your hands lotion lovely. Yet it cleans like no other liquid or powder ever. To introduce you to this great new product and several other favorites, Lever Brothers is sponsoring a rip-roaring $100,000 cash star sweepstakes with $25,000 first prize and over 2,000 other cash prizes. Your official entry blank is in the mail now. Just fill it in with your name and address and send it in. You may win up to $25,000 in cash. You'll also receive valuable money-saving coupons on several terrific Lever products. So send in your entry in Lever's $100,000 cash star sweepstakes. And with your Lux Liquid coupon, get new pink lotion Lux Liquid.
Now, he's on stage rehearsing. Of course he rehearses. Now, Lim, he could not live a sneeze in a pepper factory. You better call him later. Okay, goodbye. For the show.
Put her back in the closet. I don't want it. I'm not going to do a show today.
Jack, there was no reason for you to rush off the stage in the middle of rehearsal. The show is 20 seconds too long. As the director, I had to cut out something.
All right, it's 20 seconds too long. You didn't have to cut out that line.
But, Jack...
Look, I don't care how long it was. I'm not going to do that show unless you put that line back into it.
Okay. Hey, Joe.
Yeah?
Put back that line about Benny's blue eyes.
And tell him to put it in exactly the way it was.
And put it in exactly the way it was.
Well, how was it?
Well, the girl says to Benny, your eyes are blue, aren't they? And Benny says, bluer than the seat of the last man on a short toboggan.
Oh, brother! Now, see that stays in.
Okay.
I never saw it to fail. Always aggravate me before a show. Rochester.
Yes?
Before I get made up, maybe I ought to shave. Huh?
Oh, well, let me give you the equipment.
All right, I'm so mad.
Here's your razor, your shaving cream, and your baseball cap.
I don't know, I look kind of silly, don't I?
I know, but you haven't bought a razor blade in 10 years.
Oh, well. Come in. I gotta shave and get made up. I'm busy now, so don't bother me.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Jack. I think you ought to hear the commercial the sportsmen are going to do. You know they're going to do the minute waltz.
The minute waltz?
Yeah.
For the commercial?
That's right.
All right. Well, let's hear it, and then let me get through
Okay,
with
go ahead,
everything.
fellas.
Go ahead, let's hear it.
Hold it. Just one. Don, I'm terribly sorry. I forgot to tell you, but the director came in and told us that we were 20 seconds too long, you see. So the boys will have to do the minute waltz in 40 seconds.
The minute waltz in 40 seconds? That's ridiculous. Look, Jack, if you want 20 seconds, why don't you take out that crummy line about your blue eyes?
That line stays in.
Oh, brother.
I'll cut that out. Now, look, Don, they're going to have to do the minute waltz in 40 seconds, and that settles it.
Look, Jack, if they sing that fast, nobody will understand when they say that new Lux is cream enriched with the lather that cream softens skin and helps purify away complexion troublemakers. That's very important beauty news.
Well, Don, that's your problem. Anyway, they will be able to do it in 40 seconds.
But, Jack, it's just impossible
I'll
to do
bet
the
you
minute
$1.
waltz.
I'll bet you $1 they can do the minute
Oh,
waltz
well, I'll
in 40
take
seconds.
that bet.
All right, here, and I'll let you hold the money.
Okay.
All right, I'll show you they can do it in 40 seconds. Now, take it, fellas. Go ahead.
Lovely start of Hollywood. Have a place and you full of air and speed the skin so smooth and clear. Using new lots with perseverance. You're giving new lots for beauty. Smile a little, smile a little. New lots for men, for lots of men. Screaming the clock in the lather and actually promise. Help us purify skin. New lots and wonderful, thrilling and wonderful double beauty. Promise again.
I told you they could do it, Don.
Well, all right, Jack. See you later.
Okay.
Come on, fellas.
Now, don't argue with me after this.
Okay.
I know what I'm talking about. Well, I guess I better start shaving. Oh, darn those baseball commercials. They drive me. Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Well, I hope I'm not intruding. I'm Mrs. King, and my son is a photographer in Kansas City. And so I just brought
In Kansas City? You know, Benny, I was there not long ago.
I know! He took this picture when you were there. And I would love to have it autographed.
Well, certainly. Oh, for heaven's sake, there's a picture of Mr. Truman and me, taken right under that photograph of President Eisenhower. Gee, you say your son took this picture?
Yes. And will you autograph it for me?
Well, I'll be glad to. Of course I will. Pen right here somewhere.
By the way, how did you happen to be there with Mr. Truman?
Oh, sit down. Sit down. I'll tell you all about it. Well, you see, Mr. Truman and I, we've been friends for many, many years, for a long time. And I gave a concert in Kansas City, some time ago, and it was done for the Musicians' Pension Fund, you see, and Mr. Truman ran this concert. So when the concert was over, he came backstage, and he invited me to come to Independence, Missouri, to visit the Truman Library. He wanted me to really see this library. It's just wonderful. So I got up real early the next morning and drove all the way to Independence. How do you do? I have an appointment with Mr. Truman. I'm Jack Benny.
Oh, yes, Mr. Benny. Mr. Truman expects you. Would you mind waiting?
No, not at all. Thank you. Yum, da dee da dum, da dee da dum, da dee da dum. Dum, da dee da dum, da dee da dum. Oh, isn't this nice? Here's a review of the concert I gave last night in Kansas City.
Oh, yes, I was there.
Oh, were you? Oh, good, good. I hope you enjoyed it. I thought I was in rare form with the violin last night. What did you think of my rendition of the Mendelssohn Concerto?
Mendelssohn Concerto. Oh, you must have played that after I left.
You mean you left in the middle of my concert?
Oh, well, I had to go to the airport to meet some dignitaries coming in from Washington.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess it must have been important because quite a few other people got up and left at the same time. But I say, this is a lovely place, you know. I couldn't help thinking as I came in here into the entrance here what a beautiful library this is, what a wonderful building, you know.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Mr. Truman is very proud of it. You know, it represents an investment of over $20 million.
$20 million? Gee, let's see, at a return of 5%, the profit would be,
Oh, there's no profit.
No profit?
No. The money that built the Harry S. Truman Library was contributed from all over the country, so it really belongs to the people of the United States.
Oh, I understand. Yeah. You know, Miss...
Conway.
Miss Conway. Yes, Miss Conway. You know, in my hometown in Waukegan, Illinois, they did a very nice thing recently. You know, they're building a new junior high school, and they're naming it after me.
Well, isn't that nice?
Isn't it? I think it is. And they have two other high schools there, junior high school, the Daniel Webster and the Thomas Jefferson. There. Imagine. Webster, Jefferson, and Benny. Yeah, I'm in pretty good company, I think, don't you?
What a shame the other two don't know about it.
Yes. I would think so.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Oh, hello, Dickie.
Oh, do you know that Boy Scout?
Yes. This morning he helped me across the street.
Well, you can go in now, Mr. Benny.
Oh, thank you.
Right through this door and then down the short hall at the right.
And Mrs. Truman will
Yes.
see me now. Yum, da-dee-da-dum, da-dee-da-dum,
Certainly glad to see you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, I'll be glad to. I'm certainly glad that you invited me over here to visit your library. Always wanted to see it. Well, I'm certainly glad you can make it. Thank you. Enjoy yourself. I know I will. And incidentally, Mr. Truman, it was an honor, a real honor, having you stay through my entire violin concert last night, especially with all those dignitaries arriving at the airport.
What dignitaries?
Well, you certainly have a nice office here. Do you spend much time here?
Yes, I spend a great deal of time here. In fact, I'm here every day in the week when I'm at home at all, and we have plenty of work to do. As a matter of fact, I have a staff of 4 secretaries and sometimes 5 who do nothing but answer the bushels of mail I get.
Well, I know what you mean. I mean, answering the mail can really be a problem. You know, Mr. Truman, in 1946, I had 12 people, imagine, 12, working night and day just on letters that I received.
1946? Wasn't that the year you had I Can't Stand Jack Benny contest?
Yes. You know, my sister won first prize. Tell me, Mr. Truman, all these things you officer, all these mementos when you were president?
Not all of them. A great many of them are things that were accumulated while I was in the White House, and they're of use now. Here's thing right here that's interesting. That's the seal of the President of the United States. And it's made out of solid gold. Gee. And solid gold. Got some other things here I want to tell you. This is a globe over here that I used while I was in the White House, and I always keep it in sight with all the trouble spots in the world turned up. Always have a notion that sometime or other maybe I can do something about it, but I doubt it. And I'm glad you like the look of that presidential seal.
Solid gold.
Solid gold, that's right. Now, since we've been talking about the things that are of interest here in this building, I thought maybe you might be interested in the purpose of the library.
I certainly am.
Its intention is so the youngsters, students particularly, can learn what the office means, what the president has to do, and what they have to do to keep this free government of ours and keep it going as it was from the time of our founding fathers to date. It's the greatest government in the history of the world. And I take great pleasure in showing the youngsters what we have. Now, we have back here about 5 million documents that were accumulated while I was President of the United States. And every document that the President handles is really an official document, whether it's an official paper or a letter taken the night off a musician when he criticizes your daughter. All right, we will just go and take a look at it.
Oh, fine.
Go and take a look at it.
I certainly would like to see them.
All right.
Yes.
Jack. Well, Jack, we're entering a presidential room in the library, which shows the jobs that the president has to do. And there's a list of them. Yeah, notice the president's job is really 6 jobs. He's chief executive, chief of state, legislative planner and partner with Congress, head of his political party, commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and director of foreign relations. Hey, you know, I just read all of that without my glasses. We're talking about chief executive. Okay. Now, Jack, we come to the first case in the presidential room, which has to do with the job as chief executive of the United States, the greatest job in the history of the world. And as you see, he has various things to do. There's a meeting with his advisors and the members of congressional committees. Here's a cabinet meeting, and over here you see where General Marshall is being sworn in as Chief Justice of the United States, and by the Chief Justice of the United States as Secretary of State. And then afterwards he went to Harvard and made that great speech which ended up in the Marshall Plan, and which I think is one of the greatest things that ever happened in the history of this country. Mr. Truman, may I ask you a personal question, please? Certainly. Well, why is it that whenever you want to emphasize something, you always gesture with your hands like this? I noticed it. I got that way, making pictures to the people when I was trying to win them. Oh. Well, why do you do that? Well, you cover up that wristwatch, afraid somebody will steal it? It started out that way, and then it turned out to be a habit. And over on this side, you can find another number of jobs for the president as chief of state. He's making an Indian chief in the NFL game. You see there a picture with Jack Benny in it. See where? Don't you see him? Oh, yeah, that's when I did a show. That's right. A wonderful show it was. We all appreciated it very highly. Well, thank you. And then here's an Oscar that's received for imitating Mr. Keltenborn when he said I couldn't be elected in 1948. And understand he received one for imitating me, imitating him. That's Edith, picture me in there. All the rest of them there. Come on, Jack. I'm coming. There's another one of the important jobs for the president. That is a legislative partner and one who works with Congress to get certain messages through and bills that are necessary to make the country run. You'll see up there copy of the message on the State of the Union. You'll see here a picture of the Big Four as they ever constituted when I was President of the United States. And a microphone, the first one I ever used, and down here is a pen that I used to sign most important bills with. You know, Mr. Truman, I was thinking how much time it must have required, you know, to read. You had to do so much reading before you signed anything. That's true. I was used to it. I had read all the books in the Independence Library between the ages of 9 and 14, and it was no trouble for me to read, and in those days we didn't have any television.
That's right. You know, when I was 9 years old, we didn't have television either. Of course, we didn't use it. See, the Indians were real then.
Next, you'll see here the first job of the President of the United States as head of his political party, one which I like very much. You'll see in this case the pictures of what the President does as head of his political party. That's when Dewey was elected President of the United States. Next, this case shows that President in one of his most important roles as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. And then you see in this case a model of the first atomic submarine. I was present when the keel was laid. Here's a model of the jet flying machine that was first made while I was in the White House. And this model here is a model of the engine in the old B-36, the great bomber. Then you see up there in the middle a picture of my chief of staff, General Vandenberg, Admiral Denfield, and General Bradley.
Oh, okay, Mr. Truman, that reminds me. I remember when that picture was taken, because I happened to be in Washington, D.C. at the time. And what a thrill it was meeting all these great men. I found out one thing, that the more important a man is, the friendlier he is.
You're absolutely right. I agree with you 100%. That's as true as it can be. And, Jack, from what you say, I imagine that you found General Vandenberg a very interesting person.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't get to meet General Vandenberg. You see, the day I was supposed to meet him, I had a luncheon appointment with Admiral Denfield.
Then you met Admiral Denfield, I suppose.
Well, no, you see, just as I was leaving the hotel room, to have lunch with Admiral Denfield, I got a telephone call from General Bradley. No, wrong number. Of course, that wasn't your fault, Mr. Truman. That could happen, you know, under any administration.
Jack, aren't you talking a long way around just to tell me that you didn't meet anybody?
Oh, no. On the contrary, Mr. Truman. I did meet one very important person whose grasp on the international situation was absolutely amazing. You know, in fact, I had lunch with him twice. His name was Lynch, Edward Lynch.
Edward J. Lynch?
Yes. Do you know him?
Well, I should. He was my chauffeur.
You must have paid him well. He bought the lunch.
Actually, these cases here shows the President as the maker of the foreign policy of the United States. Nobody can decide what the foreign policy is but the President. You see in this case, there's a model in Williamsburg on which many most important meetings were held. Up there is the table on which the United Nations got the picture of the signing of the United Nations Charter.
That's one of the most interesting in the
Well, you can find the table on which that charter was signed down in front here. Everybody gets a chance to see it.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Truman, what's in that case there?
Well, those are things that were presented to me when I was 75 years old on the 8th of May.
75 years old. Gosh, you're looking wonderful.
Well, I feel that way. I'd like you to tell me the truth if I ask you a question. Will you do that?
What's that?
How old are you? I said I want you to tell me the truth, and I want to know how old you are. Well, from that picture.
No, it did make it a little difficult.
Well, Jack, that takes care of the 6 jobs of the President of the United States. These other cases over here, as you see, contain pictures and historical documents from every President of the United States to date. I am interested in all of them, particularly in Jefferson and Polk and Jackson. And, Jack, I presume that your favorite would be Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln, my favorite president? Why would you say that?
Well, I thought of any man who'd walk 12 miles to return a library book and save 3 cents would be the kind of a man that you call for.
I see what you mean.
Come on now, let's go on back to the Albertson and stop at some of the other routes.
Yes, sir.
Miss Conley, would you see that Mr. Benny and I are not disturbed for a while?
Yes, sir.
A new product that gives you the benefits of 2 products.
Hello. Let me tell you why this new striped toothpaste gives you the benefits of toothpaste plus mouthwash. Stripe begins with the finest plain white toothpaste. This will clean and polish your teeth and protect your breath as well as any white toothpaste. But here's Stripe's new protection. The super mouthwash ingredient, hexachlorophene, the famous germ killer used by physicians and dentists themselves. If your toothpaste has these red stripes, you know you're getting germ-killing hexachlorophene, the best protection available. Stripe kills tooth decay germs better than any plain toothpaste. And Stripe kills bad breath germs even better than the best-selling mouthwash. So be fair to yourself and your family. Get the benefits of toothpaste plus mouthwash. Get Stripe.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the show. It was a great honor having Mr. Truman as my guest. And I truly wish that everybody in the United States of America, every man, woman, and child, could visit the Truman Library because it is really something to see. Next week, be sure to see George Gobel, presented by Stripe, Lever Brothers' new red and white toothpaste. And then I'll be back 2 weeks from today. Thank you very much.
Well, hello again. This is Buck Benny speaking. We have a very special episode of the Jack Benny Show to present. One that came out on the set that is the Lost Benny episodes. We try not to touch the Lost Benny episodes set. I don't feel comfortable like taking video from that and things, but if it becomes available in some other way, which about half of them have since the set came out, and they're definitely not the versions that are in the set. For instance, this one, I think, I'm not sure. It seems like maybe two different copies have become available, but one of them was actually from the Truman Library that they made their copy available, and it even says like Truman next to it and things on the YouTube that they put out there. And then somebody else put out one that I think looks a little different than that one. It might even be a little better quality. And I think that's the one I ended up getting. I'm not sure. But anyway, I just this is such a important historic episode. I just didn't really want to skip this one, and since we had it available where we could get to it, I'm like, let's just do it. So we are. This is Jack with his guest Harry Truman. There's a lot of interesting things about this episode. A lot of I don't know, strange things about it, and unique things that make it unique amongst all the Benny episodes. And let's just chat about this. So let's start. And today I have Hope Sears with us. Hey, Hope. Very good. And uh, and we also have, of course, Kathy Fuller Seeley here with us. So let's get started. Let's go with Hope. What were some things that you wanted to point out about this episode? And we'll swing around and go back and forth. So just cover whatever you feel like, and then anything you don't mention, we'll get back to you too. So go ahead.
I feel like this episode moves kind of fast. Like I feel like I was missing things like this whole episode. I love it though because I love history. I love presidential history, and I've been to the Truman Museum. Uh and uh I remember happening upon this, and this was when I kind of was first discovering Jack, and I was elated to find it in the museum, and they were I was very happy about it. And but for me, some of the highlights are just kind of the when Truman is attempting humor. It's great. Especially when he pokes fun at himself for the letter up with his daughter. I think some people might miss that. There was a scandal that he wrote a critic, going back to our one of our previous talks. He wrote a critic, and that, like, they couldn't believe that it came from the president. The president called out a critic for criticizing his daughter. Um, Out of all the critics that the president had, he got very upset when he was criticizing his daughter. But I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was hilarious when he was poking fun at himself for that. Um, and
Hope, I
but
have a question for you.
yes.
Are you saying that when you went to, because I haven't been to the Truman Library, so when you went to the Truman Library, they actually had a copy of this show that you could watch part of? Is that what you were
Yeah,
saying?
there was like a display, and there was like a little bit of, you could watch a little bit of a part of it.
A
Yes.
clip of this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
not the
Interesting.
whole. I didn't
No,
want.
no, I
I
wouldn't
don't
think it'd be the
think
whole
the whole
episode.
episode was on there, but
But
I
that's
was.
cool that, I mean,
Yeah.
because that would be a memorable thing in the Truman Library. He was on one of the most popular shows of the time frame. Yeah.
I looked up the Truman Library website this week, and you can see 233 photographs of Jack and Harry have been digitized, and you can pull them all up. So it is something they're very proud of. So.
Oh, very nice. Well, and I'm always looking for, like, you always have a thumbnail that goes with your episode. So, and usually, I grab a thumbnail from the episode, and so it's very distorted, very, maybe I'll look and see if I can find a good picture that's high resolution to put on there.
I have a couple that I can send to you.
Okay.
Yes, there's quite a bit, but a lot of them will say copyright over it. So they have all of them for display, but some of them are copyrighted. I've gone through a lot of them and found I'm starting to go through the non-copyrighted ones. So I'll send those to you because they're very nice.
Very nice. Yeah, all I'm looking for is one shot. I would love a shot where they're like, I love it when there's two people on the episode or whatever, and they're laughing or look like they're having a good time or something, and it's not just ponderous or something, but who knows.
So the whole kind of discussion on most of the photographs that are on the Truman website are not going to be about the episode. They have some, maybe behind the scenes footage, but they don't have a lot of those aren't available. But what is available is what he's talking about. Why he went there was to do the Kansas City orchestra fundraiser for the orchestra. That's why Truman asked him there, was to raise money for the orchestra. And so there's a bunch of photos of dignitaries and stuff at the airport and like around the museum, and a bunch of different people, at the museum. So outside of it, the or the orchestra as well. Yeah, so there's a lot of orchestra photos. And there, I couldn't really find a good one that's not copyrighted of them together at this orchestra, but it's really cool to see Jack with his fiddle, and is what it's titled, like, like
That's great.
yes, it's really a cool, interesting thing, because I don't think I've seen, like, even when he's like the performances that we've had, I don't think we quite have those photos in place that are quite like that. Um and you can tell that the orchestra does need to raise money, I would say.
Oh.
Yeah, because I was like, this is not a wonderful, like, location, you can tell. I mean, so I was like, I can see why the orchestra would need funds here. The stage is not impressive.
Yes. Well, and Jack helped so many orchestras out across the country. I mean, my gosh, I don't think that ever gets mentioned enough. And there have been some famous folks who've talked about it, and the impact he had on saving so many orchestras that were about to go under and everything, and refurbish where they could refurbish things and all sorts of things. So he brought in so much money to so many
retire debt and make retirement accounts for the musicians.
Yes.
And Truman asking him personally, you could tell it means so much to him. Like, I don't know if he would have gone to Kansas City to raise money for the orchestra, but the president asked him to, and so you can tell that that was a big deal for him.
Yeah.
And it's just so sweet and heartwarming, and the fact that they're both, musicians. The Like you said, it kind of ends on that sweet note of them playing together. And it's just so interesting to me that we had a president that, was so musical. And
Yeah.
but it's also interesting if you know Truman, because like when he's talking about reading every book in the library, I don't believe it's just because the library was small. I believe, like, I mean, it's the Kansas City Library. It probably had, even back then, a bunch of books.
Yeah.
I was reading, I've read David McCullough's book on Truman, which, by the way, is like 1,000 pages or so. Yeah. Um he his and then I went and looked clips online, because I just couldn't get enough of Truman after was um his I don't know if it was one of his grandsons, or like somebody was saying, like, why are you, like, he was reading like the history of Persia to like like his 5-year-old or whatever, and or like some kind of country, like with a like crazy boring like book, and he was reading that to, and she was, and his daughter was like, why are you reading that to, like, why to someone so young? And he was like, well, I read that when I was his age. And it's
Wow.
like, you read this like long history book, like, so Truman was very knowledgeable, and I don't think he like
Very well
really
read.
gets,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think he gets enough credit for that, to be honest, because like people are like, oh, he just happened upon the presidency. Like, he was very well read.
Well, it's so funny how that runs in presidencies. Like our current president, I think, is right up there probably with how many books he's read. But beyond that, let's go ahead and go to Kathy. Kathy, what did you think about this, and what stood out to you?
I think it's wonderful, and I've never actually seen it. And you have to mention that at the time, and probably for the rest of his life, Jack was furious at the audio and visual quality of the show because they hired a local film crew to shoot the stuff in Kansas City rather than bringing out professionals from Los Angeles. And they shot it, and and he couldn't go back and shoot it again in time. And so the visuals are certainly not top notch for something being filmed in 1959. So Jack was forever after very frustrated at that aspect. But you could tell how proud he is. He is always starstruck by presidents, and it's very sweet, and I love the fact that Harry can pull off some jokes, like saying when Harry mentions oh yeah, didn't we meet or something during the 1946 I Can't Stand Jack Benny contest, where he makes that point. And then he also wants to tell Jack, they're standing in front of portraits of presidents. And Harry does the joke about, you must admire Lincoln, not because of their nearly shared birthday, but because also Lincoln borrowed only books from the library that he was
Yes.
cheap to buy his own book. So whatever, I think the writers wrote some great jokes for Harry, and I thought he pulled them off with aplomb. So
They did.
Penny pinching,
yeah.
Put Lincoln on the penny.
It's just a grand episode. I mean, really, it's so unique, and it's so unique and yet not, because Jack could do things like this on his show.
Yes.
I mean, can you imagine if they took an episode of I Love Lucy and visited the Truman with Truman? It just wouldn't work. But Jack, you go, okay, this is fine. I mean, you never know what's going to appear on Jack's show, and I think that's what made it so interesting. Maybe I would hope to the audience at that time is that, are we going to get a live show? Are we going to get a recorded show? Are we going to get Marilyn Monroe on here? Are we going to get Truman?
You're right.
I mean, what are we going to get? Who knows?
Everybody in the industry knew that he would treat you right.
Yes.
And I wanted to, as I said, as much as the Variety and the trade journals were not often giving reviews of individual television episodes by this point, this was a big deal in October 1959. So it was near the beginning of the fall season, but it warranted special comment. And I just wanted to read a little bit of Variety here. And they say it was a natural that Jack Benny and Harry S. Truman would become a team for this half-hour, one-night special. Each year, a basic. Oh dear, I'm gonna have to get a light. So.
Well, more editing on Daryl's part on this one.
Yes, no, I can. Yeah. Each year, a basic musical instrument that he has made part of his personal trade. What? So, each yens. This is vaudeville language from Variety.
Variety is so hard to read Variety articles.
Each yens, a basic musical instrument that he has made part of his personal trademark. Each is a one-man chamber of commerce for a certain city in Missouri and in Illinois. Truman has a deep and abiding respect for the office of the president. Jack Benny has a ditto for the fine art of comedy. History will surely show that each was as an American institution in his time, a condition that is just as certain to rub off on posterity. Each is a virtuoso of unerring good taste, granting one minor lapse by Give 'em Hell Harry in regard to a Washington music critic who did not care for Margaret Truman singing. But this was squared forever by the former chief executive in an apologetic quip on the subject during the show. There was a terrific simple switch for Sunday's 2-act on CBS. Truman was not merely a gagster, as per common practice. He was playing host in the, so It's lovely, and they were really pretty complimentary about it. And I'll make sure it gets posted in the comments. But hooray, variety could be ugly, or sharpen its criticism sometimes. But they were very positive about the show. So
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. How can you not be?
they're very difficult to read. So
Oh,
it's not
They
only my
are.
aging eyes, but I made a bad.
No, it's very hard to read those articles. It is.
yeah. Well, for me, I mean, you're saying it's hard also because it's so dark and printed so bad, but like Hope and I are saying, it's also the style that they're written in. They use so much like lingo and they're trying to be so hip in the industry that it makes it, the references are so obscure and things sometimes.
Yeah,
It's like, whoa.
picks. So
It really is small writing though on a page. Like
it's
I
very
have,
difficult.
I have trouble reading it even on a computer now.
Yeah.
'Cause I have to like zoom in
Zoom in. Yep. And
I'm
then
like,
it starts to break up yeah, it's not they need to have a higher resolution to take in it or something.
yeah.
Anyway, so anything else we want to point out about this one? We got Hope, you got anything else you wanted to discuss on this one?
Show your Gracie shirt.
My Gracie
Oh yeah.
shirt. Vote for Gracie.
Vote for Gracie.
This would have been I think wasn't the 1941.
40? I believe it was 1940.
Yeah. When did Truman become president?
In 44, at the 44 election. So just in 45. So he became president after being vice president for only a matter of like 3 months. So
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny between both times we've had vice presidents take over for presidents. Like you say, he'd been vice president for a very short amount of time. Ford had also been vice president for not too long before he ended up becoming the president as well. So that's
right. But both of them had very long congressional careers, so they were at least
they were well
experienced
known.
Washington people. So it was interesting for Harry to say the president is also the head of his political party. So So it was interesting to have Harry explain so much and to be so proud of the Marshall Plan, and it was a very and the fact that he was still going to that office in the presidential library and working every day.
Right.
So he was there all the time. So
the thing with Harry Truman is he's like, regardless of politics, he was very like a nice guy. Like, and it's very apparent from reading his biography that he did have a sense of morals and like good family life, and so it's very interesting to actually read about Harry Truman. So I would encourage anybody to read a biography about Harry Truman, because even if you don't agree with like the Marshall Plan or anything else, it's just very interesting to kind of delve into his personal life, because he was a very interesting guy outside of the presidency that just happened, he didn't want the office at first. He didn't even want to be vice president. He was kind of forced into it. I think I think he kind of wanted it on his own terms and not being forced into being vice president. So it's just a very interesting time in history that Jack Benny is kind of along for here, which I think it's a very good watch too.
Well, it makes me think, would Truman, LBJ, Lyndon B. Johnson, and Ford, would they have been presidents on their own, or simply they all acquired the office in different ways? And I don't know. I think they were all, I mean, to be of the level that they're at. They were ready to be president. They were, and so forth. But could have they won on their own? I don't know. I don't know if they could have pulled it off without following. They were the follow-up act to something else, and yeah.
Right. Vice presidents are usually chosen not because they're ready to hop into the driver's seat, but usually to pull a different constituency in to shore up a geographic part of the vote, like the Midwest. Johnson was chosen because he could pull what was left of the Democratic South in for Kennedy. So
yeah. Johnson was behind the scenes a very political mastermind. Like, he was called, I would recommend another history book, Master of the Senate. I would recommend Robert Caro. His whole line, it's a series and they're long. But he was, I think I want him back to figure out the Senate, because he was the only one at the time that really, he asked so many questions when he was in office, that he was the one that truly understood the Senate and how it worked in order to get those bills through, because everything gets stonewalled in Congress. He was so good at that. I feel like we need him back so that we can get some stuff sorted out.
There you go.
There you go.
For nothing else. I feel like he's too much of a lightning rod for everything else. But that would be nice if he could lend his wisdom to how to make bills flow through the Senate.
Exactly. Well, I just want to thank everybody for joining us for this interesting, unique episode of the Jack Benny Show. I'm just so delightful we have it to share with you folks, and I hope you got a lot out of it, because it's very it's quality entertainment, and Jack really was a quality guy, and to be able to bring us the huge stars he brings us and politicians he brings us and everything is pretty amazing. So thanks everybody, and we'll let it go at that. Nicely done.
The most powerful idea in the world today is peace. To strengthen the United Nations work for peace, write for a free booklet to U.S. for the UN. Box 1959, Washington 13, D.C. Next week's Stripe, the new hexachlorophene toothpaste that gives you the benefits of toothpaste plus mouthwash, will bring you the George Gobel Show with his guest star, Rudy Valley. The Jack Benny program is a J&M production.
Now stay tuned for that panel that gives away $50 every time they miss. Spendthrifts.